All right, today marks the 60th anniversary of the iconic I Have a Dream speech that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered during the 1963 March on Washington. And while there's still obviously a lot of work to do, our nation has certainly come a long way. But the left, quite frankly, would like for us to believe that we're not moving forward at all. In fact, we're moving backwards with all of this. They claim that to ensure fair treatment, there needs to be in place DEI policies and programs. And I mentioned DEI before we took the break. For those of you who may not know, DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, my next guest is among many who disagree with the claim that we need DEI programs to make everything fair. In fact, she's written a new book that examines such programs and their impact on American society. So joining me now to talk about this is Dr. Carol Swain, the founder and CEO of Be the People Project and co-author of the book, The Adversity of Diversity. Great title. Dr. Swain, welcome to Washington Watch. Thank you so much. Love the title. Love the title. And this is what a fitting day to talk about this issue. So to kind of get us kicked off, I want to go back and play a brief clip of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, and then I want to get some of your thoughts.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
What a powerful speech. All right, here Dr. King is talking about not being judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. And now you and I are talking about DEI. Doesn't that just run counter to everything Dr. King was putting forward?
Yes, and also racial preferences. And the book, my new book, argues that the Supreme Court's decision to end race-based college admissions has implications for every DEI CRT program in the country, because those programs violate the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and its extensions, as well as the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. And I believe that the DEI programs that discriminate against whites and Asians, against males in competition with females, against sometimes heterosexuals in competition with homosexuals, Christians in competition with other groups. What DEI does is to divide people along racial and ethnic lines, and it is far more aggressive than the affirmative action that initially followed the passage of the Civil Rights Act. And Jody, I'm sure you know that the affirmative action in this country, it was not something that was passed by both houses of Congress and signed into law by a president. It was a series of executive orders.
So, you know, let me just kind of put this, because I think this is important for you to be able to answer. No doubt there's some people who are going to say and argue that you personally have benefited from affirmative action. So how do you... Yeah, respond to that, please.
I have a chapter. They need to buy the book, because I grew up in an affirmative action infused world. I was born in 1954. That was the year of the Brown v. Board of Education school desegregation case, but also the civil rights movement. And so I was 10 years old when the Civil Rights Act was passed. When I started college in the 1970s, affirmative action was all around. But I would argue that I benefited the most from the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. I benefited from non-discrimination, equal opportunity, and outreach. And I started my education at a community college. You did not even need a high school diploma to get into the community college. I had a GED. I made the dean's list a couple of times. I used the degree from the community college to get into a nearby 4-year college. And I graduated magna cum laude, and then went on to Virginia Tech, got recruited to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And I would say I benefited again from non-discrimination, equal opportunity, and outreach. And there was a search for talented minorities. You had an equal opportunity to fail or to succeed.
That's awesome. All right, so real quickly, and you're already there, but just how does ending affirmative action and DEI programs, for that matter, how will that lead to improved racial relations?
For one thing, affirmative action programs don't operate the way people believe that they do. And what has happened now has been lowered standards. Every racial and ethnic minority, no matter what they accomplish, they're told it's because of affirmative action. And I believe that non-discrimination, outreach, that you can have diversity without discrimination. You can have diverse population without discriminating against any group. And for colleges and universities, the elite ones, they need to work more at the K through 12 level, developing talented people. And right now, the affirmative action programs at our colleges and universities, they favor immigrant children over native-born minorities. They do not always seek the best and the brightest. They discriminate against people based on social class. We're going to have to
leave it there. Real quickly, where can people get your book? 5 seconds.
It can be ordered from any major bookstore, and they can go through my website and order from a Christian bookstore, from Logos Books Nashville.